right, December is finally here.
Yep.
Santa is in your window.
Yep, Santa's in the window, lit up.
So the lights are on and we're ready to go. Let's just kind of run down all the things we've been talking about running up here toward the end of the year. What's next for the vehicle tax fee thing? Where are we at on that?
Vehicle tax, right now it seems to be that placing in a referendum in 2020 seems to be the path that would offer the best solution and guarantee that every citizen in Anderson County had a right to express their opinion. So I would say that's where that's heading right now.
And the most voters, since it's a big general election, getting most people out.
Well, it's a presidential election, so you'll have a huge turnout.
What we didn't talk about this last month. When will the Pogs Dog Park? What's the latest update we got on that? I know it's going to be for a lot of things other than just walking dogs.
Well, we're doing that as we go. We're doing some of the work here in the county and getting some other work done. So it's underway, but it's going to be a process because we're trying to maintain the cost and do it correctly. So it's not going to be here in the spring, but we're getting close.
But if people want to contribute, they can, right? Yeah.
We would be delighted for people to contribute, and they can do so at PAWS, and it is tax deductible, and we will be more than happy to accept it.
And we've had some people give money so far.
We've had
generous donors.
We've had a $100,000 donation, which is pretty generous.
Another one of those long-term projects we hadn't talked about lately is where are we on the trail that will go from the YMCA to the Civic Center?
They're in the right-of-way acquisition phase right now, and so far that's going pretty good. They haven't hit many bumps, but again, that trail would connect to the existing East-West Parkway on 81 and go all the way to the Civic Center. So right-of-way acquisition phase. But I will take this opportunity to point out that hopefully, with my fingers crossed, the bathroom for the East-West Parkway Park will be in place next week. Not ready to use next week, but the structure will be there. All of the piping and all of that has been done. So we're hoping that that will come in next week and people will see a building there, and that will be the bathroom. And then naturally when we get it ready, we will do a ribbon cutting, and so everybody will have a chance to know that that's there.
Bathroom ribbon cutting.
Bathroom ribbon cutting.
And that's probably first of the year, pretty close. If it's got the pipes in and all.
Very close to the first of the year.
That trail from the YMCA, that's a long trail from the YMCA to the East-West Parkway, then all the way over to the Civic Center.
That's a good walk and a good run.
Or have somebody pick you up at the other end.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, coordinating that with the city's plan for trails through the city, which is a wonderful plan. I think that will be really nice and special for Anderson City, Anderson County.
How about our sign on 85 South?
As a matter of fact, we talked about that today. We should begin working on that in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We've ironed out some details, and hopefully by January, when you're coming from Georgia, you will see our welcoming to Anderson County sign. So that's moving along smartly. We had some cost issues. We've resolved those cost issues, and so now we can proceed. As a matter of fact, we gave them the go-ahead today.
And it's identical to the other one, right?
Looks exactly like it.
Well,
and a point on that, we're also going to improve the landscaping on the Greenville side, because we wanted to get everything kind of situated. So we're going to be improving the landscaping at that side and also doing more landscaping on the southern entrance side.
That's tricky work. They've seen those places, getting in and out of there and setting up landscaping.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky.
Speaking of bathrooms, where are we at on the bathroom project for Kid Venture? Where are we at on Kid Venture in general, I guess?
Well, they're out there working on the bathroom right now, and they're also doing some work on some parking areas out there right now. And we finally have a pretty good cost estimate on the total ADA project. We're going to get the final plans on that for Kid Venture ADA, first ADA compliant park in Anderson County. So hopefully we're going to get that moving and get it moving quick. I'd love for it to be open in late spring or early summer. That's what we'd like to do. But hopefully everything's coming together. Really appreciate the partnership between the county and the city making this all possible, because it couldn't happen any other way.
And in South Carolina, there aren't many kids ADA compliant parks anywhere, are there?
No. And hopefully this is going to be a big one and the first one, but hopefully not the last.
Maybe a model for the others.
Yes.
Speaking of parks, construction's underway at Broadway Lake and at Green Pond. What's the latest on those projects?
Green Pond still in process. They're backfilling some of the walls and getting ready to add more ADA parking over there. You know, we've got a couple of big tournaments coming in January. That's when the striper fishermen like to come in because they like that cold weather. And this, I think, will be the third year that we've had that. I'm proud to say that we stole it from Lake Murray, and they seem to be quite content here. And so we've got others coming up, some big bass tournaments coming up with Bass Anglers Sports Association. So we've got that coming up. And as a matter of fact, right about now is the 5th year anniversary of Green Pond, and it's had probably a $56 million economic impact on Anderson County. How do we know? Well, we certainly know that that ranking we got on Airbnb, people are coming in and staying. We also know that our accommodations tax numbers are going up. So those are two good indicators, and that accommodations tax can go to other recreational facilities like the 28 acres of land we purchased right behind the dam in Piedmont that is going to allow us to have a park there and a place, primarily a water-oriented park. So we've got that going on, and we're going through the process of closing that out. So we've got that going on. Hopefully we better have that walking trail beside the Saluda River at Dolly Cooper Park by the music festival the Powdersville Business Council is putting on, because if not, somebody's going to be in bad trouble, and it's not going to be me.
Well, and the blue trail for the kayaks will be ready by the Saluda River Rally next.
Absolutely.
So nobody have to get out and back and forth the way they were in the same way.
You can put in one, and you can just do a complete uninterrupted trail. If you want to go from Piedmont on down to our ramp in Pelzer and on down to Belton, you can. But we will have one stretch that's fully, you could say, self-contained, all ADA accessible. The interest in the Piedmont area, as I've mentioned 2 or 3 times before, is really taking off. We're really proud about that. And we really think it's going to be a boon for that part of the county and the Piedmont area, Pelzer, West Pelzer, all of those areas.
I think something people sometimes lose track of is when you say ADA, a lot of that senior citizens are participating in this that allow them to be independent and go and take part of these recreation activities as well. And I think a lot of people don't think about that when they're thinking about the American with Disabilities.
Well, what they need to think about is senior recreation is very, very important, extremely important. More opportunities need to be made available that are senior friendly. I mean, if we had the money, we could build 10 pickleball courts right now, and they would be slammed. And 4 years ago, not many people around here knew what pickleball was, but now everybody does. And I mean, the demand is huge for that activity.
And you know, the giant $128,000 question is still: have we made any more progress on the Courthouse Square property?
We had conversations on that today. Still not where exactly we would like it. Not going to do it if it's not going to be something that is magnificent. So that's where we are on that today.
Would it be too expensive to just pour some dirt in there and put some grass on it?
No, and if we don't find something we like, it could be a wonderful green space. But we're not there yet. We're still mightily involved and still like our developer a great deal, but we're just trying to make sure it's right.
Looks like, you know, tonight though, the full council approval, but the Finance Committee of Council's already approved the Well Pine Sewer Project funding. Remind people where that is and what that means. People hear sewer and they kind of glaze over.
It's on the Well Pine area, but really if you think of Liberty Highway, that's a better way to think about it. We have a lot of industries up in that thing, and we don't have any sewer capacity. Plus we have a great deal of land that is industry ready except for sewer. And so we're just trying to open that area up a little bit. Again, I don't think people in Anderson County want industries beside their houses. So why not try to cluster them, a lot of them, around the interstate? Do we put them in other parts of the county? Yes. We have completed the first phase of an industrial park in partnership with Abbeville that will benefit the town of Honeypath, Abbeville County, and Anderson County down there. So we're working hard there, but that's in an industrial area in that area. So try to hit a balance on all these things.
So we got a nice 85 exit right there on Liberty Highway and lots of land still sitting around out there. So.
Yes.
What about the other sewer projects on 14 and 11 going out that way, the cooperative efforts and stuff?
Oh, as a matter of fact, we have a meeting on December the 16th to firm up the legal agreement between the three parties. I mean, we're already doing some preliminary engineering in concert because it just makes sense for all three of us to share that cost rather than us go out there and be the Lone Ranger, and it's going to benefit all three of those areas. There's some more big doings up in the Pendleton area right now. Lot of activity in that area, a lot of activity. And as soon as we can get to 14, it's just waiting. I mean, people have shovels and they're ready to go.
Yeah, the county's been waiting to put sewer up there for years, 14 and 11.
For years, but this council voted the money to take care of all of these sewer projects. They're going to put us light years ahead of where we were.
And there's some law enforcement news we've talked about a little bit. Any updates on the jail?
As you know, we have, council has contracted a study on the jail, not a study to humor somebody. This is not a humoring study or saying, are you doing anything? Oh yeah, we got a study. And hopefully that study is going to hone in on how many beds we should have. There are a lot of new things in jail construction because that obviously must be the most profitable business to be in, because I get contacted by somebody wanting to build a jail for Anderson County about every day. But there's also a lot of new wrinkles and a lot of new things there. One of the things, I mean, sometimes we have to close the officer's dining room to put prisoners in there. We have no good place for psychological training, which you know now we do mental health evaluations at the jail, something that was never done before, trying to direct these people to where they can get some help and not just come to jail. And so we need a space to really do that better. We need a space to help people find something to do besides coming back to jail. We need a place for the public defender to actually interview people, always remembering that 80% of people out there haven't been to court. They're as innocent legally as you and I are, and then a place for the solicitor to have easier access. Maybe it'll help speed up the number of people getting in and out of the jail. But it's more than that, and one of our prime considerations is we have Anderson County employees, detention officers who work out there, and if you haven't been there, I'll take you out there, and it is very dangerous for them, and they don't deserve to be in that kind of environment, but we have some really dedicated people who work out there. I mean, it's horrible, it's old, but I'll tell you what, it is as clean as anything can be.
And talking about the jail and the study, the county has already had on the ground a criminal justice committee working on a lot of these issues on numbers and what we do need and all. They've been working on this leading up to the study.
Yes, and that will be an ongoing effort to try to make people getting through the legal system quicker, not be hanging around in jail for $50 for 2 years. Cost benefit doesn't work too good on that. So we need to fine tune our legal system in Anderson County, and we need to make sure that the bad people get punished and those that might have slipped just a little bit find a way not to come back and visit with us again.
And I think what I was getting at there, though, is the study is going to come in and work with what we've already got people doing the research on. And
yeah, but I mean, I can tell you right now, you know, it's probably going to be around between 4 and 500. We kind of figure that. But you got to factor in population growth and things like that, because, I mean, we're growing rapidly, and no matter how you slice it, you're going to need more space out there. But it's ranked right now around 250, and we got 400 plus out there.
Well, everybody's talking about body cameras. Finally going to fund those.
Yes, and the first thing council did was to look at sheriff's deputies' pay. That's been corrected to the sheriff's satisfaction. We've improved detention officers' pay, and proud of that, and done a real fleet service management organization led by Mr. Stone. So we are not, hey, all of our cars have worn out today, let's go spend $80 million and buy brand new cars. We are actually managing that system very well. So the Sheriff's Department has nice vehicles to drive. And we're actually very excited to start the process on our new shop out at the TTI facility that we now own, which we're still trying to find a name for, instead of calling it the old TTI facility, because it's lock, stock, and barrel Anderson County, with going to have a huge Tri-County Tech presence, and we're already getting requests from industry looking to move here. Can they use some of the space, which it was designed for, thanks to Representative Brian White. So we're working towards that, and looking forward to shuffling some county offices around, destroying that mess near the airport that was Cool Hand Luke would be ashamed to work there. So hopefully, we've already got some departments out at the old TTI facility now. We've got deputy county administrators out there, stormwater's out there, solid waste is out there, facilities department is out there, and just moving those people out there. Plus, we're also renting part of the space to private business, which helps us with our expenses. Right now, it's helping a whole lot.
Well, even referring to it TTI, a lot of people in Anderson still say it's the old Singer.
The old Singer plant. If you're at a certain age, it's the old Singer plant. Then there's a generation that calls it the Ryobi plant. Right. And then we call it the TTI plant because that's what it is now, TTI.
That's how you can tell how old somebody is.
Yes, you can.
You mentioned that they have, council's made a concerted effort to get deputy salaries up. Yep. And has it reduced the turnover as was hoped?
You would have to talk to the sheriff. He can speak to it better than I can. But yes, I can tell you it has reduced turnover in at the sheriff's department. It has increased morale at the sheriff's department. There are a lot of other factors that go into morale, but getting that pay adjusted was a great help. And also us becoming fully funded in our own health insurance program seems to have been a big deal of satisfaction for many county employees. They just really like our new system, so that's going well. But council's been very attentive to any need that the sheriff's had, and I think this body camera thing, which council will vote on tonight, is going to...
it's already coming out of Finance Committee.
It's already been out of Finance Committee, doesn't need a second, and can't speak for council at any time, but I'm pretty sure it'll pass.
And what about the substation, the sheriff's substation in Watson Village? How close are we on that?
Still a few more things to do on that, but we're pretty close on that. And as you know, we're looking to put a fueling station in Powdersville that will allow the deputies to spend more time in Powdersville than having to ride up and down the road. And that is the harbinger of hopefully a substation in that area coming soon. We're looking at the land. We've hired an engineering firm to do the initial testing. We would be using land that the Powdersville Water Company owns, so we're not going to purchase land. And it's right there in central downtown Powdersville.
If people don't get out and drive to towns other than their own, they don't realize how big this county can be when you're trying to drive around.
All I'm telling you is go down below Iva and go to Powdersville, and you're going to see why we're one of the largest counties geographically in the state. If you really think about it, we're larger than some countries. And I know we have, and I've talked about this, more roads to take care of than some countries.
The Sheriff's Department just launched a new website. How long will it take the county's website to be redesigned?
I'd say about 2 months. Not only are we doing the counties, but we're also doing our economic development website. So I'd say about 2 months to do that. And those should be up. We're working on that right now.
Yeah, people forget there's an awful lot of information at the economic development website that they might not.
No. And people should be aware of that, and those are very good resources to use. Plus all the county web sources, and plus our Facebook page. We just got a compliment today because Wren, you know, is going to play for the state title, and we've got a video up of them winning the upper state. And so Channel 193, Roku, YouTube, anything, you can watch Anderson County Television 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you'll learn a whole lot of things going on in Anderson County.
You mentioned the airport. I know council recently toured what the current status is. Pretty close to being done in the new airport terminal and everything.
The new terminal, but we have other things to do. We have a runway, the secondary runway. Do we need to spend money on that? And we probably do, and if we do, it's $1 million. Do we need to do some hangar work? We absolutely need to do some hangar work. So there are a lot of opportunities in the airport, but council's been working on that for some time and really getting that into shape. Hugh Oldham is our interim airport manager, and Hugh's doing a really good job, so we're real pleased with that. Traffic continues to pick up, and we just hope it continues.
That terminal is a big deal, though. I mean,
that terminal is a big deal. Again, it's going to be ADA, and it's going to be a wonderful thing when you land in Anderson County to come into that new terminal.
Do you know if we're any closer to getting the Fireman's Memorial to move over to the...
Talked about that earlier this week, and we're still moving on that. We're hoping that we can have it probably maybe 2 to 3 months. We're putting money in it, but we need some private money in it, and so far we're getting some pledges on that. Randy Bratcher, fire chief at the city's been real big in that, very involved in that, and is really helping us. And it's going to be different, and it's going to be unique, and it's going to have tools that firemen use, and it's not going to be over there beside Chris Taylor Park, where it was nothing more than a perch for the many ducks out there, and I think it will be in a place of honor where it should be.
Get them all in one place. The policeman's over there. Get them all in one place. All right. In 2015,
yes,
Anderson County Council approved buying an artificial Christmas tree.
Yes, they did.
To replace the giant, well, first the magnolia froze to death, and then they started dragging in big live trees.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how the success over the last, we've mentioned this before, but now we're going into our 5th season.
Well, I will tell you what, I was here Sunday in the courthouse, okay? And I looked out the window. Sunday afternoon, you know it's pretty, and family after family after family were waiting their turn to have their picture made in front of that tree. In front of that tree. I'm not talking about there were 2 families. I'm talking about they were lined up. And the tree wasn't even lit up. Now, this Friday at 7 o'clock, it's going to go live. And it's considerably taller than it once was. And we're very pleased with it, and it seems to be a big hit with the community. Some people say, you know, well, we need a real tree. But most everybody that we've seen, it speaks for itself. We've had people get married in front of that tree. We have people who now make it a family destination, and
it's been a big money saver.
And it's been a big money saver.
Will continue to be.
Will continue to be a big money saver, and hopefully it will continue to grow until it's taller than the tree at Rockefeller Center.
Do we want it like equal to the clock tower? What are we shooting for here?
Well, somebody told me one time, they said, Rusty, it can't be higher than the flags. I said, well, then we will get a grant and put the flags on hydraulic poles, and it will never be a problem.
Is that really a thing? It can't
No, somebody just mentioned that.
So it can be higher than the flags.
It can be higher than the flags, but I'm just telling you, we'll make sure whatever it is. Because if you've ever been in Anderson County, in my job on 4th of July, and there's one county flag out of place or one that looks a little bad, I get a call on 4th of July. And God bless those people for doing it. But if people don't think that our citizens and the number of flag protocol experts in Anderson County would boggle your mind, and they know their stuff.
So Christmas music's going to start playing from the tower as of Friday?
Friday, and we will have Christmas jazz. We will have Nat King Cole, Steve Terrell, anybody you can think of, and it will be constant.
So we're ready for Christmas.
We're ready for Christmas.
2019's gone.
2019's gone. We're going to have a great Christmas season. Everybody in Anderson County needs to know that's the Anderson County Christmas tree. It's for the people in Iva. It's for the people in Pelzer. It's for the people in Powdersville. That is the county Christmas tree. And this building belongs to everybody in the county, and this whole place is going to be beautifully decorated. Give a shout out to the city of Anderson. They're changing all the lights downtown to LED lights. They're going to be uniform. They're actually working on that today, so I think that's going to make a big difference.